New York City Wired.
I'm Monica Lincoln. I'm back for another episode of New York City Wired. New York City is officially open for business. Take a look and see what we saw as New Yorkers got ready for phase 1 reopening. This is Wall Street post-pandemic. There's a little traffic moving along in phase 1. Trading started back on the New York Stock Exchange. Governor Cuomo rang the bell on its first day. And I should mention that trading never stopped. It went electronic, but in-person trading is back on Wall Street. So I'm walking down Fifth Avenue and it's a tale of two cities. You can see Coach has not reopened its doors. You can see down the way there's Aldo and some other places who have still yet to open their doors. Some of the retailers are waiting for the protests to calm even more, which this is a far cry from the way it was, where the streets were completely filled and looting was happening every night in the city. Now it's a much calmer place. In the background, you might be able to hear there is an NYPD chopper monitoring protests just around 14th Street and Union Square. It's been a hot spot for a lot of protests, albeit mostly peaceful. There has been an increased police presence just to make sure it stays that way. Governor Cuomo was so confident about the city's reopening that he actually got on one of the MTA trains and took a ride and spoke to one of the passengers there and had a good day on the train on the day of the city's reopening on June 8th. All right, so we found an open store. Athleta is open for business. They are not afraid. Express is still boarded up, so is a few other folks around here. Just to explain the density of New York City, it was very difficult just to even do this footage in Battery Park without a mask on. And you're talking 35, 40 seconds without a mask. The train ride here was very full, actually. There was a lot of people on the train. Social distancing was a little bit difficult. It brings up the question, is the MTA going to be able to handle the full crowd that comes back when office workers and everyone else comes back online? Take a look at some of the things that we captured from the MTA and what its plans are for revitalizing and keeping the city safe while we all ride transit. The MTA is making safety changes to its ridership plan, including mandatory face mask coverings, hand sanitizer, and foot pads. Here are the socially distant foot pads, so everyone can stand in the right spot. New Yorkers get the chance to eat outside with limited capacity as the city rolls into phase 2 reopening. It's been a long journey for New Yorkers who had the highest rate of coronavirus in the nation, and now they have the lowest.
City making progress again today fighting back the coronavirus. We still have a long way to go, we all know that. But based on the really good indicators we've seen today, and for days and days before that, I'm very comfortable now saying that we will start phase 2 on Monday, June 22nd.
I'd like to end today's episode with a word, otherwise known as the editor's note. In today's society, we've seen protests go on for weeks at a time. We've seen Black Lives Matter screamed in the streets, and we've seen the senseless killing of people of color. But not only that, for many decades, there has been inequality roaming our streets just like the virus, and it needs to be eradicated. What should we do? Write our letters to Congress. We should vote and we should do whatever we can do to make a difference in the world. I applaud the protesters, I applaud the lawmakers, but we do have a long way to go. Let's keep doing the work, everyone, and make the world a better place. Thank you for listening. For more information about New York City Wired, check us out at newyorkcitywired.com. And while the protests continue, the 7 p.m. tradition of banging the pots and pans for the first responders, doctors and nurses who helped with the COVID-19 crisis continues. Today's episode was shot in Riverside Park, Battery Park. For those of you who don't know, New York City has a bunch of really lovely parks and green spaces and hiking spaces and beaches. Is that a duck? It's ducks! Look at the ducks! Hi, duck! Hi, duck!